Okay, hello people and welcome back to another video. We've had some parts arrive. These rear set brackets to replace these things. As you can see, we're moving our foot peg forward, makes it a hell of a lot more comfortable. Now these are made by the guy Twig in Australia. I think he's changed his design ever so slightly. On my one I had to replace all these bolts, but on this one I think we only have to replace this top one. So yeah, let's do it. Okay, so to fit these foot pegs into here, this hole is an M8, this bolt here is an M10, so we're going to have to drill this out and re-tap a thread. I had to do that on my bike. It's pretty straightforward, not much to it. Got my set of taps down here. So I'll go grab a drill and I'll drill this out now and we'll re-tap it. Cool. Okay, even though we've tapped this bracket with a thread, we're still putting a nut and a washer on the back side there. Okay, so as you can see, this shifting rod now is way too long. Luckily this one here, you unscrew the end off, slide this whole tube off. It's threaded rod. We're just going to cut it to the length we want. Cut this tube to the length we want, and we're all good. About there, I reckon. Okay, so this bolt here has to be about 10 to 20 mil longer. This is an M10 metric fine thread, or a 1 mil pitch. Pretty sure I had to replace these on my bike when I did my rear sets. Just one of those things. Okay, so now we're onto this side, which is a wee bit more tricky because we've got all this brake malarkey to worry about. Just undone the bolts, so we'll get rid of that unit. And here's our oil switch that was crunched between that washer there. And here's our new unit. There's the bit for our brake. Just make sure that she... Again, we're going to have to replace this bolt here. It's too short. That's okay. Now, as you can see, this bottom stud is not coming through, not even close, and I'm pretty sure that I had to do this on my one. And I bought this bit of threaded rod here. This is a high tensile threaded rod, 8.8. This is M10 metric fine, and I bought this specifically to go all the way through, and 2 nuts on either end. That nut should go on there, which it does. So I'm going to have to jack the bike up, get the weight off the centre stand, knock this through with a hammer, cut it to length, and go from there. Cool. Okay, so this stud here is also way too short, so I've got to get this out somehow. So I'm going to try the old 2-nut method. One nut on, 2 nuts on. Lock those two together. Try and back it out with this back one. Now it's coming. I'm just looking at this bracket here and it looks like it's been bent for whatever reason. I think I've really got to straighten that. I'll chuck it in the vise and heat it up if I have to, and try and straighten it, I think. Okay, so I've got this set up in the vise here. You can see our braking mechanism there. I've got its return stop set by putting a bolt through here, and there's a wee adjuster just in here. So that's our stop return. Now we've got to worry about our spring. Now there's a hole up here that's been tapped. The spring on my bike's long enough to go from there to there. This one, I don't know, just too short. So I'm thinking I may have to drill and tap a hole here. And then I've got to worry about this rear brake light. Now this spring's way too long, but I can shorten it. And I'm thinking about drilling another hole next to this one, putting that in there. And I'm pretty sure I made a bracket to hold my brake switch up here somewhere, which I'll probably have to do as well. Fun and games. Okay, so I just mounted this bracket here. For our brake switch to mount to. So just ignore what's going on with this big spring at the moment. See if the brake light works. Okay, so we've decided to not use this ignition at the moment. We're going to stick with the stock Yamaha ignition and just get the bike going for summer. So I've got the stock Yamaha CDI, and then I've got some standoffs made, and I've mounted the M unit on top of that. I believe I've got buckets of room under the tank. At least I hope I have. I'm going to triple check that. But yeah, we've also gotten rid of these little velocity stack filter things, and we're going to go back to the stock setup. So yeah. Okay, so I've just whipped the exhaust headers off to get these exhaust gaskets in. So I've done the front one, just got the rear one to do, and then get all this back on again. Okay, so the ones I used on the BMW K100 were copper. These ones are like a stainless ring on the inner and outer, and then some sort of fiberglass maybe, don't know. But they fit, and that's all that matters. Not sure if this stuff is totally necessary, but I'm going to use it more just to hold the seal in place while I'm fiddling it into the back of the bike. Okay, so we've been having some issues with this back wheel. every time we tighten the rear axle up, this wheel stops spinning. Now I wasn't 100% sure what was going on, because this is a later model Virago rear wheel. This is a 96 going on to an 81, 82 final drive. So luckily we've got another Virago here. Here's one we prepared earlier, and as you can see I've just whipped the back wheel off of this, and I think we are missing this little spacer in here. That bad boy. It's not in that one. So I'll just whip it out, do some measurements, and the owner, David's got to try and find one from somewhere. Or we've got to make one. That's our options. Okay, so we've got this larger muffler here, which mates of mine at the engineering place have welded down a, I suppose you call it a reducer or a collar to fit on this pipe. And I've got a couple of these clamps. I think I'll spin those around so you can't see. But we've just got to get the owner here to decide whether we want to cut this and make this further down. All these important decisions to make. Okay, so this video has kind of been all over the place, but I'm back to the exhaust. I've got to get this wee bracket here onto this stud here, which is doable. I can get it on there, but I need to make a bit of a spacer because we don't want this hard up against the engine casing here, so I probably want a spacer. I don't know, I'll measure it, what's that, probably 30mm, and then a nut and a washer. So I'll see if I've got anything I can use as a spacer, and yeah, go from there. Okay, so this video's been, well, it's been a bit all over the place really. I'm just buttoning up a few loose ends. Just got the bike running again with this new muffler. Oops. It is loud. She is loud. I think we've got a problem with one of the carbs, and I'll show you. This one on this side here. When I first fired it up, rear cylinder wasn't getting hot at all. Noticed that my fuel level, which was up here, was not dropping. So I gave it a few revs and it came right, but I've just noticed I've got fuel coming out of this overflow, which I've just put a little bolt in there to stop it pouring out. So maybe there's a stuck float in there, I'm not sure. Might have to whip it off and have a wee look. But yeah, we're back on the old Yamaha ignition, and she's alive. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to leave this video here because it's starting to get a little bit long. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Keep tuned because the next one will be the last one. Yeah, so thanks for watching, and see you later.